I don't even think it's cloudy today. It's just super hazy from the Canadian wildfires, which, man, that really sucks. Without intending to, I had taken a few months off from really diligently tracking my budget. Yeah, I didn't change my spending habits or anything, but I did get a little bit wrapped up in, living my dream life over here. So I don't feel any guilt about it whatsoever, but I do want to start getting back into reviewing my budget every month, starting with July. As you already know, I don't have car insurance or a cell phone bill in my monthly payments because I pay those annually and biannually. If you don't know that, you might be new here, you should consider subscribing. Now let's get into the spreadsheet. We always start at the top with income. I had a W-2 income goal of $700. My actual take-home pay from my W-2 job was $598.38. That is 2 C-days worth of work as well as a few hours of some online training. I did get 3 C-days in July though. The last one was on the 30th, and so that'll get paid out in August, which is a nice little boost for August. But that means I did come up short on my W-2 income goal in July. YouTube income, I have a goal of meeting the $100 payout threshold. And in June, I did not meet that payout threshold. I also dropped off a bit on making videos in general, so I haven't hit that threshold in any given month in the last several months. But once it builds up, it'll pay out. But it did not in June, so that was a $0 income. And support, I have $0 goal, but I did get some support through Venmo this month from Mower Guy. He sent me $10. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And then my high yield savings account interest, I had a goal of $140. The APY had dropped a bit since I had last kind of checked in on this. So I only made $124.88, and that's kind of a big deal, especially for someone with a low income where all the incomes count. But altogether, an income of $733 for the month. Now my expenses, I am finally no longer a renter. I moved in here with my partner back in March, and I pay him $500 a month, and that's all inclusive. He's got one of them pre-pandemic mortgages that is cheaper than that shithole 300 square foot studio apartment I was just last renting. So I love that for him, but $500, I love that for me too. That's amazing. Mohila, it's still in a payment forbearance because of the SAVE program, and I have requested to be on an income driven plan. They are just really behind at getting those processed. So for now, I still have a $0 payment, but I'm hoping to change that soon. Netflix is $24.99 a month. Food and household, $250. When I moved in, Bob and I set up a shared checking account just for food and groceries that we each put $250 in every month. And that's what I use to go grocery shopping. And we even end up generally having some money left over to take ourselves out to eat. It's been working out so great. Living much more rural now is where it's at for decreased incidental spending, across the board. It has been so great. However, gas and car wash is a little bit of a different story. $60 goal. I spent $215.14. Ouch, ouch. But that's 3 days of driving to and from Gloucester for work, those 3 days. And from here, that's a little bit over 5 hours in total in the car on a work day. And 2 trips up to Maine to visit my family, which is 3 hours each way. It's a lot of gas. It's a lot of wear and tear on the car. And unfortunately, I don't get mileage reimbursement or paid time driving from my job anymore since my home port has been switched back to Gloucester, and that's where I'm going out of. And it stinks, but it is what it is. Pet and vet, I did not need to spend any money on the cats in July. I will have to in August because now they need things. And then invest, donate, save, and spend. Those are all at $50. When my income's low and I'm living on savings as opposed to saving, invest, donate, and save are $0. Unfortunately. And spending, I wish that was $0 as well. I spent $88.48, which I hated adding up in the moment, but thinking back, wow, yeah, okay, stepmom's birthday, and I organized the party and bought party supplies, fresh bag of birdseed, some facial sunscreen, and a new pair of socks. Those are literally the 4 items. Oh, and a hose nozzle. That was the other thing. Hose nozzle. Yep. And then other $0, but I spent $6. I had to get a tooth extracted, which I pulled from a sinking fund for that, but we'll talk more about that in a second. But oh, that's right. I drove down to the coast twice to go to my old dental office because they could get me in right away because it was really starting to hurt and I could tell something was wrong. So I got into my old dentist, which is an hour and a half each way. So that's 6 more hours of driving between the 2 dental appointments. But they referred me right away to the office next door who does the facial surgery. But that initial dental visit, just to get everything looked at and get the referral, they charged me $6, which I can only assume is like my prior insurance's copay, even though I told them multiple times I don't have insurance, I'm paying for it out of pocket. And like, basically I'm expecting a large bill to come in the mail anytime from that visit. Maybe not, but most likely $6 for, and they took an x-ray. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a bill for that eventually, but I paid $6 in the moment. And I was like, okay, but I should have prodded more. I didn't think about it till after, but I should have been like, you're sure, because that doesn't seem right. Overall, $1,085 in expenses, which of course, compared to my income, means I am still living a bit on savings. Just like the low income, I don't love it, but I'm not super worried about it. I know when the time is right for me, I'll feel the inspiration to care more, to either take another C day or 2 each month, which probably not, but also pick up side work. Like, I just don't feel that urge yet, and that's okay. Now let's shift down to the assets and liabilities. My first and most important asset, of course, my emergency fund. It's got $37,331 in there on a $36,000 goal. So we are over goal on that one. My sinking funds, these are what I've been pulling from to live on. But my goal for the 3 of them is $6,000 combined, and currently they are combined at $2,031. I do want to start beefing those back up, but again, I just don't feel that urge just yet. Then my retirement funds, those are a combination of my current employer's 401k and past employer 401ks. Which reminds me, even from my small paychecks right now, I do still invest 5% to a 401k because I get 5% company match every single paycheck. My goal for investing that I mentioned earlier is in addition to that. But currently, between all of my 401k and Roth, $84,692. And then my other investments, which are just made up of brokerage of company stock from a previous job, my crypto, which I bought back when it first came out and have pretty much just ignored it ever since. And then some money in a Fundrise account, which is crowd-funded real estate and other asset investing. Combined, those all have $35,639. So overall, over $120,000 total invested now, which is very exciting for me. And my HSA, it did drop this month because of that tooth extraction. It was $716 and I just paid for it right out of the HSA. So it brought it down to $6,233. And then the liabilities, we all know. Like the hottest, most contentious topic of my finances, my student loans, and the current balance is at $186,945. These are just my federal student loans at this point. They're all with MOHELA, and they've all been on the SAVE program, supposedly gaining $0 interest since the pandemic forbearance started. And yet the balance has gone up, even though it's supposedly been on 0 interest accrual this whole time. It's about $8,000 higher than the balance before the pandemic pause SAVE program forbearance situation. But I could be slightly off, but either way, it's higher, even though it shouldn't be. I don't know what's up with that. MOHELA is trying to get me back into an income-based repayment plan and off the SAVE program so I can get back into my payments, back to watching my balance go up and up and up and up every month. That's where we're at now. We're okay with it. Nothing we can do about it. So I've just slipped into peaceful acceptance. End of story. But yeah, not bad, not great. Honestly, the spending was higher than I thought it would be, higher than I would want it to be. But thinking back, yeah, there was a couple of those occasions that cost money It's called life, yep. I do hope to spend less on gas in August, certainly. Although I already know we're going up to Maine at least once for another family gathering. And I'll have to be driving for work, probably at least twice, to get at least 2 sea days. I would like to get 3 sea days in August, I think. Yeah, that seems good. I am really loving this chapter of trying to minimize my finances. The last chapter, the hardcore debt-free chapter, was about maximizing saving and investing and making as much as I could. And like, I just want no part of that anymore. I just want to figure out as much as I can without needing money. There's a really powerful feeling that comes from being able to find so many things for free. And granted, it's like the season of abundance. It's the middle of summer. There's fresh fruit everywhere. I keep looking at these perfectly ripe blackberries right in front of me. And I know there's so many more out in the food forest over there that I still haven't picked yet. There's fresh fruit everywhere. I'm getting wood chips for free, compost for free. It just feels so nice to focus on the challenge. And that's the thing, I think my brain needs a challenge, but the challenge of not spending money, that's what's doing it for me right now. And yeah, even though I should be focusing on making more, saving more, investing more, buffering myself more instead of going the opposite way, I will get back to that. I'm feeling the urge to budget again. And I feel like after a few months of seeing the numbers in the spreadsheet, even though I know I am dipping into savings a bit, like seeing the actual numbers on the spreadsheets, I think for a few months will really amp up the desire to focus on making more. And as an introvert, I've noticed that when I shift from one chapter to another, like you have kind of a big life upheaval, like moving is kind of like a big life upheaval, life reset. Some people stride through those changes, no problem, and I normally do, but I don't know, it feels like I'm just taking a little bit longer this time, and that's okay. And I think it's because this phase of life, this like my grandma era, and diving deep into all the hobbies that all 3 of my grandmothers were so good at. But just quiet, simple, basic life, stripped back to the necessities and more self-sufficiency, taking care of myself, taking my power back in my own hands. And let me tell you, like, growing your own food is powerful. There's so much power in that. Focusing on literally anything else that is not spending money, that's where I'm finding motivation these days. So I want to do better for August. So if you are interested in any of those things, consider hanging around. Thank you so much for being here. I have a video coming out soon about more things I've been gathering around town for free. I will see you guys again very soon.